Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Farahdiba Ramadhani Hakim from Sultan Agung Islamic University. Today, I will discuss about toxic masculinity and gender-based violence. So over the last years, we've been hearing a lot about toxic masculinity, right? So what is toxic masculinity? Have you ever heard parents tell their boys should not cry, boys should be strong, boys don't make mistakes, and other things like that? Well, that's definitely the beginning of toxic masculinity. So toxic masculinity is a term to describe the boundaries of gender roles that tend to overestimate masculinity standards. The term of masculinity is often interpreted in the form of violence and domination. Like for example, a man should not show any sign of weakness that will possibly tarnish their physical and psychological strength. This condition makes men often not have the media to channel their emotion, so they are trapped in the concept of toxic masculinity. As a result, they have the idea that emotion should only be shown in verbal and physical aggression to give pressure to others. The concept of toxic masculinity giving rise to patriarchal culture because it allows male domination of women who are considered as inferior. Toxic masculinity that is nurtured since childhood will suppress freedom of expression and vent emotion so that when they grow up, the emotion will manifest into violence. So some research showed that men tend to hide their feelings for fear to be seen as a weak person, and this has been done since childhood, and that when their emotion cannot be contained anymore, the emotion will be released in form of violence. So how toxic masculinity affect gender-based violence? So according to Komnas Perempuan, cases of gender-based violence in Indonesia have reached 3,000 cases. Gender-based violence is identical to violence where a woman becomes victims because of the widespread of perception that women are weak. This stems from the inequality and equality of power between women and also men. The term of gender-based violence emphasizes violence against women because it is more often perpetrated by a man, and there is a gender relationship between the perpetrator and also the victim. Toxic masculinity tend to encourage men to commit violence because they feel intimidated by the presence of women. For example, in dating relationship or romantic relationship, a man will do violence into their partners because they will achieve their wish and then they will dominating their partners, which is the woman. Not only in romantic relationship, gender-based violence also happen in our social life. For example, men who don't smoke or men who choose wear pink clothes will be seen as a weak person. Men who often have the showing of a mellow feelings and cry also often bullied, even though the expression of feelings are right of every human, right? Not just one gender. So unfortunately, based on annual record of Komnas Perempuan, only 12% of cases can be resolved properly. The rest are not resolved without information. The limitation experienced the handling cases of gender-based violence include misperception and public misunderstanding about toxic masculinity. In addition, there is still a lot of discrimination and lack of consistency in handling gender-based violence. So what should we do? First, I think that the best way to solve this problem is to provide psychoeducation as early as possible to our future nation candidate. We can provide education about toxic masculinity in all schools, including elementary school, middle school, and also high school. This education can be function as a prevention of gender-based violence caused by toxic masculinity. Did you know that one of the arts from Indonesia, namely wayang, contains stories that have value that teach gender equality? For example, there is story about Mahabharata, about Yudhishthira, Duryodhana, and Drupadi. When Yudhishthira and Duryodhana playing gambling, Yudhishthira bets Drupadi on Duryodhana. That attitude is a toxic form of masculinity because what? Because as a man, Yudhishthira and Duryodhana feel they have the authority to raise woman, which is Duryodhana, and free to do whatever desired. Stories like this are expected to provide an overview for a man that toxic masculinity should not be done to anyone. The discussion about toxic masculinity is still seen as a taboo subject, right, in Indonesia, and perhaps many Indonesian people do not have yet the understanding about toxic masculinity. So I think with this culture-based education, it is hoped that it will be easily accepted by people in Indonesia. So that's all my discussion and speech. Thank you so much for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.